Welcome to We Know Marketing, We Promise. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Naoma, and this is a show about how to actually build a brand that works.
Welcome back.
Part 2, strategy on how to actually make word of mouth referrals work for you and not be living on a prayer.
Yes, referral marketing strategy. We're going to try really hard to not jump into all the other areas that you should be doing to fill your sales pipeline, but just focus on referral marketing today because there's so much to cover.
Yeah. Okay, first question.
Let's go. What's something a business could do in their client experience? Okay, so if you guys don't know, Naoma's really, really great at mapping out a client journey on a whiteboard with you as a business owner and then allowing you to like plug in these little hospitality hugs throughout the process.
Hospitality hugs. Oh my God. I'm adding that.
I feel like you said that one time. I don't know.
Maybe.
I said that to my team. I'm like, I want you to look at this and I want you to show me where you can hug the client throughout this entire process. Not physically actually hug them, but like make them feel nurtured. Anyways, question. I've had so much coffee today because I slept 4 hours last night.
I've had none in 5 days, so.
And she's been sick with pneumonia. So giddy up.
Here we go.
So what's something a business could do in their client experience? Not the deliverable itself. So not just the good work, but the actual experience that would make someone bring it up in a conversation after. So the experience that they have, that it was enough to bring it up in a conversation after.
I think I'm going to reference this book a lot. Unreasonable Hospitality says it so well. What is an area that you're Unreasonable Hospitality is about how Will Guidara took this restaurant from number 50 in the world to number 1 by just mainly through hospitality. And the way that he did that was he took his team, after they won 50th, he took his team to the number 1 restaurant in the world. And then he was like, okay, tell me what you thought. They're all like, well, the food was amazing and da-da-da-da. He's like, yeah, I don't want to hear about what was amazing. That's the good work.
Yeah, that's the deliverable.
Yeah. I want to hear about what left you a little like wanting more. Like, ugh, that was a letdown. I want to hear what those are, and then I'm going to do that. Those are going to be the things that we don't drop the ball on. And so that's how they took that restaurant to number 1. So what I would challenge you is, what is your industry? What is your thing? And what is your competitor like not doing well that you can own? That you're like, I am going to be the best at this. So I'll tell you, a Nuevo strategy is that when you work with designers or design agencies, you kind of like give them money and then you like are like, well, I hope they're doing stuff.
Because they don't hear from you.
Yeah, they don't hear from you. Or I'm like, where is that? When am I going to get this? What's the next step? So I took it into our journey, and I was like, okay, I never want the client to have an open loop. I want them to always have a closed loop on us. Never be wondering what Naoma and her team are doing. What is Nuevo Studio doing? Where are we at with that with Nuevo Studio? Why is this taking so long with Nuevo Studio? Things sometimes take longer, naturally, just because of feedback, whatever. But the open loop is what I never wanted to happen. So we started implementing Friday emails, which all of our clients rave about. Like every single one of our clients is like, I love the Friday email. Thank you.
Because it closes that loop. And it's so nice at the end of the week, which we've talked about your Friday email, but at the end of the week, it closes it up. So they're going into the weekend with, I mean, of course, as business owners, we're taking so many other things into our weekend, but they're not taking that.
Yes.
So it's ending on like a positive experience with Nuevo every single weekend.
Or it's like, hey, we still need this from you. I know that we're being a little annoying, but like we can't do our job without this, right?
Yeah. So which also still feels good.
Which still feels great. It feels like, oh, okay, I'm not having to chase them. They're chasing me for what needs to get done.
And I know if I'm missing something, they're going to tell me.
Yes.
I'm not going to have to
figure it out or learn about it later.
Or go scroll through a million emails to try to find what that one thing was
3 months ago or whatever. Yes. Yeah. So that was something that we implemented. I know that in our industry, it's notorious for you to not know where you're at in the project. You don't know what the next step is. You don't know what is going to happen. So every time we have a meeting, we say, okay, great. Next steps are blah, blah, blah. So we really control that journey for people, and they're never left wondering what happened with that or where did that drop. That's one thing. And people rave about that about us, not just like, oh, yeah, the work is great. I got a lot of clarity, whatever. They're like, oh, I felt like they knew the process and I felt like I was taken care of,
Mhm.
which is the whole point of all this. So, I would really recommend you look at what is your competitor not doing all that great that you can own. And the thing is like I remember this vividly. If you are in a creative realm or you sell creativity to some sort, people don't know if your work is good or bad, really. Like you're like, "Well, that looks good to me. I don't know." But you know what they can judge? They can judge communication. Everybody knows how to email. They know they can judge on if you were nice, if you were courteous, if you knew what was happening in the process.
They're gonna remember what they felt. Yeah,
They're not gonna remember, "Well, Naomi picked that blue because blah, blah." They don't know. They don't
yeah,
they're like,
and I
"Yeah,
just
she
love
said
that
that."
blue. It's like,
Yeah, they may have loved that, but, like, they really loved that they did not have to be on top of us.
yeah,
And so what is that thing that you can own in your own industry that
and
is
ask your clients where.
what has been your experience with other people?
Yes, and, like, where does it feel like, "Nah, I just wish I could have gotten a little more there."
Yeah.
Kinda felt like a letdown. Those are not bad questions to ask your clients because they want you to grow and improve, and they're happy to share those things. You don't have to be
Mhm.
afraid of that type of critique,
Nope.
and I think we get scared of like, "Oh, man, that's a letdown," and even a friend, like, I don't wanna say that to them and hurt their feelings, and it's like, "No, like, you're hurting my feelings by not saying something." Like, if you feel something in my company and you experience it and it's not a good experience, then, like, 10 other people are probably experiencing that, so please let me know.
Yeah.
I want to change that.
It's like telling people that they have spinach in their teeth. Please tell them.
Exactly. Always tell them if they have something on their face. Always tell
So
them if they have something in their teeth.
that
Yes. That's
that is how I would start that was just question 1, and we're
yeah.
7 minutes in, so we gotta go.
You're good. No, I think that's really helpful. And I think starting it at the very beginning, something I heard you say without saying it is like you set the tone
Mhm.
and you set the structure from the very beginning and then you keep that throughout the entire process because with what she does, building brand strategy and all of their visual identity, that takes a long time. And so they're going to be a client for a long time and there's not always a ton to report on,
Yep.
but you've given them the structure from day one and then you've
Mhm.
walked them through it step by step. And then you've also kept their hand by doing the Friday emails. And then you also have a closed loop at the end of the relationship that also feels like a hospitality hug when you get to go have happy hour and celebrate and
Yep.
meet their team or, whatever.
Yep.
So I think that that's great and just talking about
Yeah,
throughout the whole
and we
process.
also one other thing that we do is when we have meetings with clients and it's like, "Oh, this is kind of a hard meeting," I always come with donuts.
Donuts?
Yeah, if I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight this client on this meeting,
Fight them.
I'm
You
coming in
should
with
just bring
donuts.
the branded boxing gloves now.
I know, those are fun.
I'm gonna win this fight.
Yeah, they get those after I win the fight.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Because you took them out. Okay, so
Mhm,
then
mhm.
the next thing I wanted to talk about was the referral window and how content marketing keeps you in the referral window with some of these clients that either it didn't work out with in the beginning stages, maybe it wasn't a good fit, but they respect the work that you do and they would potentially refer. Or you've already worked with them, the contract's over, but it was a good experience. And so what we talk about this referral window being a time period that you are still potentially going to be top of mind for them to share your contact or refer you out obviously to someone for work.
Yeah,
Content marketing is one of the best ways that you can do that.
yep,
um, and in my experience, I have a client that has been with me for several years now, and she watched me on social media and all the videos that I was doing for years before she reached out and was ready to sign on and become a client of Stevie Social. But she also recommended me to people all the time because she just knew she wasn't at the place where like it would work for her business yet financially. And so she saw the great work I did. She loved watching it. And then when it was time, she made the move really quickly to hire us. And the sell didn't even feel like a sale. It was just so natural. And then staying within that window for someone who was a potential client, so that window was open because I was doing video content. That's also one of the best ways to have people refer you from social media alone is they see like for me, I do social media management, strategy, all of that, and people see me doing that actively on my own accounts and they share that, and that has been one of my best referral, things on steroids because I'm very similar on videos as I am in person or on the
Mhm.
podcast or whatever. So their experience of me is very consistent, whether they meet me for coffee or see me on social media or whatever. But what I think is also very interesting is keeping that potential client who you meet with and they're like, dang, we're not there yet. But then they stay in the loop and they stay in that window, and it could be years if you're doing
Yeah.
email marketing, like we've mentioned, doing newsletters, and they're getting to stay in the updates of like what's going on at Stevie, what's happening with Nuevo, and where's Naoma at now, and they want to know those things because we are relational beings that want connection,
Yep.
and so don't sleep on that referral window and how intentional content marketing, whether that's email, social media, can really make or break whether they give you that referral even.
I will also say another thing to really tack onto that is if you didn't get the client, they went with somebody else. I think when you have a bad attitude about it, that's an immediate turn off for people.
Yes.
And you don't know why they made the decision. Like they're not always totally upfront about that, but if they could still be the one to refer you to be like, oh, they were not a good fit for us, but it would be a great fit for you. But if you left that bad taste in their mouth, like they will not talk about you.
Yeah, or they might say, some people have grace and understand, like, we get in our feelings and emotions, but when you get rejected, there's so much you do not know.
Yeah.
And you have to tell yourself, there's so much that I don't know about this situation, and more than likely it has nothing to do with me.
Or it may have something to do with you, but not with you personally. It may have to do with like the proposal was not right, the package was too high, whatever.
It
But
wasn't meant to be, though.
it wasn't meant to be. And I think if you are gonna just don't have a bad attitude about it. You don't
Set aside the emotions.
there's no point in risking your reputation over 5 seconds of emotion.
Yeah.
And word of mouth is mainly reputation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. How someone experiences you. Okay. So, is there a right and wrong way to ask for a referral, and what makes the difference between it feel genuine and then uncomfortable?
I mean, I think it just depends on the person, right? Like I don't consider myself a very salesy person. I consider myself a really relational person. Um but that's why I have those meetings with my clients at the end and I'm like, how did it go? What feedback do you have for me? Is there and I used to ask, is there anybody I loved working with you. Is there anybody like you that you know that needs my services that you can recommend me? But then Steve told me was like, yeah, but that's you putting
Right.
work on
Do
them.
the LinkedIn connection.
So he told me that I should actually go through their LinkedIn first before I have that meeting and kind of pull out 3 or 4 names and in that meeting say, "Hey, I noticed that you were connected to dot 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 and I've been kind of wanting to work with them. Would you be open to doing an email introduction right now?"
Yep.
And I feel like that feels a little less intense, especially if you've had a relationship with this client, with this
Yeah.
person. It would not be like if that feels weird to you, then then don't do that. Do something
Yeah.
that feels natural. For me, that feels more natural than saying, you know, "Do you know anybody that needs my services?"
Mhm.
And then just hoping for something.
Yeah. I think it's also okay
Mhm.
to ask in your content. So in
Yeah,
emails, and
for sure.
if this resonated with you or it made you think of someone, share it, send it, reply to this email, like asking kind of for that feedback or asking for the referral. Sometimes I feel like it can feel unnatural on social media, but once again, if this is just how you are and you're being yourself and you're being authentic, like they understand.
Yeah.
And if they really enjoyed working with you, they would love to recommend you more than likely. And so it doesn't have to be weird. They're just not going to be thinking about you because we all think about ourselves a little bit more than we think about others.
Always, always.
Okay, so then have you ever gotten a referral from someone unexpected, not a client, but someone else in your orbit? And what did that tell you?
I have never, not that I know of. And I do, well, no, I did. This recently happened. Okay. It, this was, and I think I posted about it on my stories. Um, I have a client and they're opening a space and oh, I hope you don't listen to this. Well, it's okay. It's fine. Anyway, they hired an interior designer to do the interior work. And we sent them over the brand, all of the North Star, the messaging, like the reason behind the brand, all the assets, and so that they could get inspired for the interior space.
Mhm.
Well, this interior designer has a great friend that she obviously bounces ideas like you and me would bounce
Yeah.
ideas off of. And I've seen your clients' work and you've seen my clients' work
Yeah.
before it's out in the public, right? Well, the same thing happened to this in this instance. And her friend was like, I'm obsessed with this work. Who did this work? And I guess she scrolled to the bottom of the deck and she saw our name and she called us. She was like,
That's
I,
amazing.
she's like, I'm not supposed to tell you how I saw this because it's work that's like not even like only 5 people have seen this work.
Yeah.
So she's like, I feel weird telling you how I found you, but this is how I found you.
That's amazing.
I mean, yeah, so that was incredible. But
Yeah, that is always a really, really good feeling.
and I will say that was definitely found through work, not through
Right.
an experience or
Yeah, but
somebody said
someone
anything.
experienced your work and saw it, and didn't experience it firsthand, um, and wanted more of it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I've had a lot of people reach out, that I did not know, but were in my orbit on social.
Hmm.
And so, um, or they saw, hey, you manage this person's page and I really liked what you did here.
Oh yeah.
And this was really cool. And so I just wanted to see, like, is this something you could potentially do for my business? Um, or I've had people that I don't know refer my name to people and they're like, yeah, you know so and so. And I'm like, I don't know that person. I don't know them. Look them up on LinkedIn. I do not know this person, but they're following me on LinkedIn and they recommended me
Oh,
to someone, which that was the most
that's
bizarre. But
wild.
that is content marketing
Yep. That's
done
content marketing
well.
done well
Um,
because your name stays top of mind.
yeah. And that was probably one of the coolest things. And that's what encourages me to keep going through.
Yeah.
Like the seasons where it feels really dry and I don't want to post. And it's like, no, I will keep posting. But I
Yeah.
need to do better about asking in person and asking current clients, like, do you have anyone that needs my services? I mean, I need to ask you more. I need to ask Courtney more. I need to ask, like, also my friends that know people that need social media help. And I don't do that much.
Yeah.
And I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
And also be willing to like meet with people for coffee to chat and network and then ask them at the end.
Yep.
If it's not, a potential fit for their company, or if it's not even, they don't even own a company or whatever, it's like you're still talking about your company and getting more comfortable with it. And then maybe at the end, you can ask them if that's something they're interested in. So I think we have hit our time. So thanks for listening to us yap again.
And good luck
And
with your word of mouth referrals, but be more intentional with them. Ask ask for be very clear on who you're looking for and ask very clear questions to get
yeah,
those people.
and more of the practical side, I would even say like set a list of how many people you want to ask per month and hit it.
Yeah.
Like put it in your project management system and say, I'm going to reach out to 5 people and ask for referrals this week, or here are my 5 meetings this week. Be intentional, like set a goal and actually move towards that goal and see how much it impacts your business.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Deuces.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. And that's a wrap on this episode.
If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend.